Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. Manchester United going to Nottingham Forest. Another big game for the Reds. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Joe, there's sort of reasons to be cheerful, optimistic at the minute, being a Manchester United fan. Not many, but there is a few.
Yeah.
We've got, some players that are in form. We had a big result. You was at the Villa game the other night.
Yeah.
Fantastic night.
Game.
You always pick the right games to go to.
I've had some rate run recently. I saw City at home last year. Came back from behind to win. I watched us beat Barcelona at home.
Yeah.
I watched the League Cup final.
Yeah.
Then before that, it was a loss.
No.
What was the other one?
And the other one that was brilliant was before the season started, because Joe obviously does a lot of the watch along, so he chooses his games, and he went, I'm going to go to the Newcastle. I'll go to the Newcastle game. Does anyone mind? Do you mind I go to the Newcastle game? Because it's not like, Newcastle aren't a big club. And
this was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, not like it matters. And was like, yeah. Anyway, a week before the Newcastle game, he signs for us.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
And then tickets for that game are like rocking or shit. Everyone wanted some, but you had him. Yeah. So good to see. One of the reasons to be cheerful is Rasmus Hojlund has broke his Premier League duck.
Huge goal.
You was there for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we was watching it. I felt for the kid. I was buzzing for him. It must have been great in the stadium seeing all that.
It was fantastic. I'm sure you could hear it, but everyone chanting his name beforehand as well. And then obviously afterwards, it was almost him and Garnacho back and forth. Just chant, like just amazing. And I love as well just little things like it wasn't like, oh, you take the penalty, my boy, like some sort of
Diego Forlan back in the day.
Yeah, I like that. It was an open play goal, a crucial one in a massive game. Very good, tricky finish. The ball sort of hip high, and he's sort of come round it and managed to hit the post and put it in. It's just an excellent goal, and I do think that he was making good runs, and you started to see, however, in the last few weeks, him just looking a little bit unsure of himself. And some of the hold-up play and some of the build-up play wasn't quite as good as it was in the early part of the season. But I think that hopefully this will be a good start for him. If he could, people talk about going on a run and stuff, which would be great. But if he could get, let's say, 3 goals in his next 6 league games, all of a sudden it's 4 in your last 7, and you've got a sort of a competent 1-in-2 kind of striker developing in front of us. And I just think it's such a massive goal and a massive game for him as well. And to score the winner as well in particular, add that extra element of like big game, big moment, just massive.
It's mad in how perceptions just change very quickly, because you can look at it now and go, okay, I think he's got 6 goals in 23 games, whatever. That's not that bad. Yeah. That's not disastrous. I know obviously the Premier League is different. Like you say, it was a big goal. It got us 3 points. So yeah, great to see. Also, there's a little bit of intrigue here, isn't there, with this? Because you know me, Joseph, I like to be down with the kids and keep my finger on the pulse.
Thank God you said that. So let me get it straight. Jay's with some kids and he's keeping his finger on something.
On the pulse.
The pulse.
Yeah, the pulse, not there.
Yeah. Their pulse.
No, none of their anatomy.
If you've had a fall.
Yeah. I'm glad we've gone down this rabbit hole.
You've got all your badges and you've got first aid training. So if you need to put your finger on someone's pulse.
And I've been CRB'd.
Anyone has to.
That's the main thing you need to know about, yeah? I am allowed to work with children.
Yeah.
I've got a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Anyway, on December the 27th, Sean Mills, who I'm sure you're aware of, is an Australian singer who has been dubbed as a Rasmus Hojlund lookalike on football Twitter. And he hit number 1 on the UK viral charts with his song, Waiting on a Miracle. Oof. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what any of those words mean.
You must have seen him.
No. But I'm chuffed for the kid.
How have you not seen him? You tweet more than, most sort of viral accounts.
I don't know. I've seen a few things that might be this, but I'm not sure if they are. So I don't want to say.
Anyway, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Yeah, well done, mate. Top of the viral charts, which isn't even the charts. Do you know what I mean? I was top of the viral charts once. One course of antibiotics, it was all gone.
Superb.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Class. Different class, this kid. It's not just Hojlund who's hit a bit of form. Johnny Evans, rolling back the years. I think Johnny Evans is playing the best football of his career. And I'll fight anyone who says differently.
I agree with that. And I think sometimes, because we're playing in games where we're not winning, it can kind of cloud how well certain people are playing. You could say, you can't see the Chris Wood for the Forest.
Yeah, you could say that. That's very, very good, that.
Yeah. Other players...
I thought you were going to go with like Evans above or something there, so I'll give you that one. It was a little bit
Good
better.
Evans.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
It should say Good Evans up there, actually. Shouldn't it? Good Evans would have been better.
Never mind. We'll live
anyway, Bruno Fernandes was spectacular against Aston Villa. Didn't really get the plaudits because obviously Garnacho got the goals, Hojlund getting his goal as well.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Watch the highlights of the game back, or just watch the game back. Every time the ball gets played in behind, or the ball gets pinged over the top, or there's something that's sort of exciting and explosive happening. Yeah. He's either won it back, he's playing the pass himself, he's flicking it around the corner. He's just involved in everything. And having Christian Eriksen back, who also is worth a mention after his performance yesterday, not just is Eriksen better at doing, those things than Scott McTominay or whoever else is playing that position, it allows Bruno to be Bruno. Yeah. He doesn't drop back and try and do these 60-yard passes because no one else can do it. He trusts Eriksen and he stays further forward and he does a lot better when Eriksen's playing, and it's been the case last season, and we saw it just in that one game against Villa yesterday. You get the best Bruno when you've got people behind him who he trusts and who can actually find him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's loads of players. You mentioned a load of them there. Christian Eriksen, I think, for me, just underrated. I think people just forget how good Christian Eriksen is and how he's been for Manchester United. And I think if you look at some of the best football we played under Erik ten Hag, it's been when Christian Eriksen's been on the pitch. I know he's not perfect when you've got big games against tough midfielders, but certainly in 90% of the games, you'd want him in your team. And yeah, we just look so much better against Aston Villa, and I hope we can build on it. With all that being said...
Just lastly, before we move on from that, sorry.
No?
I think it is worth mentioning Marcus Rashford.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, please do.
He had probably his best performance, certainly this season.
And you said since Spurs last season, didn't you? In terms of an all-round performance, I know he scored goals in other games and all that, but if you look at one of the criticisms that Marcus gets is, when he scores, he doesn't play well. He'll get you a goal, but his performance isn't great. I think it was the other way around against Villa. I thought he grew into the game. He got better and better as the game went on. Yeah. And I thought he was being sort of less greedy. He was I don't see he's a greedy player, but he wasn't trying to just get his shot off. He was trying to feed other players. Obviously set Garnacho up for his goal and was a bit unlucky with the other one that he set him up for that was just offside. I thought it was a very good all-round performance from Marcus Rashford, and I'm hoping he can sort of start regaining his mojo as well, because he's been in a slump, hasn't he? But that, I agree, was his best performance in a while. Yeah. With all that being said then, give us your predicted 11.
I've gone with the same one. Don't see any reason to change it whatsoever. The one question would be, is Luke Shaw back? But as it stands, we don't know, and I'm not going to, say that he's going to play when we're not sure. I think you have to play it as it was. Garnacho looked excellent off the right-hand side. We saw much more out of Rashford again. Eriksen complemented Mainu very well. Mainu rose to the occasion. Johnny Evans playing, like you said, maybe his best ever football for United at the minute. Just looks completely competent. You watch him against Liverpool, watch him against Aston Villa, two of the best teams in the league this season, and was completely unflustered, and even got a potentially game-winning block in the sort of last few minutes against Villa.
Did you see the block he did as well, where Delo, for reasons that are still not clear to me, just gave the ball away, turned around and did like a 3-yard pass straight to a Villa player, and Evans was there again. He was just everywhere, man. He was just so good.
He was spectacular. So keep it as it is. No reason to change any of it. And even Onana, again, he's had a few games under the radar, didn't have to do too much. I know it's weird that we conceded 2 goals, but Villa, other than the Evans block, never really looked like scoring.
There was that one save in the second half, the one from Onana.
Oh, it was a good save. That's a good save.
Where I think he deserves credit for that, because I put it on Twitter and a few people say, oh, he should have saved that and all that. But if you look at the way he adjusts his body and gets down and gets a good sort of arm on it or hand on it to get it clear, it's a very, very difficult save to make, and he does it well. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Onana deserves some credit as well. It's good to just say this about players, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I mean, no reason to change the starting 11 there, is there?
No, I mean, you could argue if Shaw is fit, then you'd prefer him at left back to Diogo Dalot, and that might be something, but we don't know when we're recording this. And personally, I just think when a team's had a good all-round performance, then I've got no qualms with keeping it the same. I certainly wouldn't want to make any changes to that midfield. No. That's, in fact, the front 6 I think can be left alone. Maybe you tweak the defence, but I thought that midfield looked far more balanced than it has done in the past few games. Let's talk about Nottingham Forest, because Nuno has come in, and then last week, or was it earlier this week, I forget what day it is, they had a massive result against Newcastle, didn't they? Chris Wood turning into prime Romario, according to someone on Twitter. I think that was a little bit OTT, but obviously got his hat-trick, a big win for them. Shows that they're capable of putting in performances, putting in results. Anthony Elanga's done quite well since he's gone there. How concerned are you about Forest? When you look at him, do you think there's a team there that could do bits, or do you think we should be able to beat him comfortably?
We're just seeing him in a little peak, aren't we? I know they lost to Bournemouth, but they were a little bit unlucky in that game, and also they put in a lot more fight than they had done in the previous few matches. I just think they're going to be the best they've been probably since the start of last season, when they still had that newly promoted confidence. It's a tough one. Nuno's a good manager. I know he's been slagged off and sort of pulled apart after the Tottenham
Was never given a chance, was there?
But they didn't want him there anyway.
No, was it like 8 games or something? And he beat City in one of them.
It was ludicrous.
It was nonsense.
But when he was at not at Wolves. Oh yeah, Wolves. Sorry. He was considered one of the best sort of up-and-coming managers in the country, had a load of plaudits before things sort of tailed off there, but he was excellent defensively, got them playing really good football, and I assume he'll do the same with Forest. He won the Manager of the Month.
It was obviously longer than 8 games. I can't remember what it was, but it was something ridiculous.
Yeah, he was given a chance, and the fans didn't like him from the start, did they? And that ultimately did for him. But we still have to win. All of that being said, we still have to win. That game against Newcastle are sort of crumbling a little bit. The injuries are catching up with them. The fixture list is catching up with them. I'm sure they'll come back again. But they played Newcastle at a very good time after they'd just given away that one against Chelsea, a loss as well before that. They played Newcastle at a good time. We have to capitalise on the fact that we've just had the best result of the season, arguably, and certainly one of the best performances, and also they're not fully in the sort of Nuno sculpted mode yet.
No, I agree. Yeah, there's reasons why, especially when I look at that Villa games, I think United can be too strong. Because player for player, I know I say this a lot, but we're much better than Forest. But you can't just discount them because of that performance that we saw at St James's. With all that being said then, give us your score prediction, please, my brother.
I'm going to go, I think it'll be tight. I'm going to go with a clean sheet, actually, and I think we'll get 2 goals, so I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United. Rashford to score.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I'll go 3-1. Let's have a 3-1. We want to hear from you. Get your phones out. Film yourself in landscape. 30 seconds. Send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com with your score predictions. Joe, where can people find you?
Oh, in Dublin.
Later tonight we'll be in Dublin.
To be fair, when this comes out, you can maybe still come along. If you're in Dublin,
we'll put a link in the description. We'll see. But you might be able to get a few tickets. It's going to be us, Howson, McCullough, and Wes Brown as well. Make sure you check that out. We'll be back for the watch along as well. It'll be me and the boy Wonder back for that one. This has been the Nottingham Forest preview. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Motti. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.